first time that any employers have been obliged to publish their data about differences between what they pay men and women.
It has emerged that the majority of employers across all sectors have pay gaps.
This means that on average they pay men more than women.
In some sectors, such as finance, the gaps are larger. Generally, the gaps in respect of bonuses are significantly higher still.
Are employers discriminating against women?
No, not necessarily.
An overall difference in what an employer pays to men and women doesn't give any individual a right to claim to equal pay.
Broadly speaking, equal pay law entitles a woman or a man to be paid the same as an employee of the opposite sex doing the same work or work of equal value.
The gender pay gap data looks at an organisation as a whole and compares how all men and women are paid. It doesn't provide information about how individuals are paid.
Many employers have provided explanations to their pay gaps. A common one is that there are far more men in senior positions. Their higher levels of pay make the average pay for men higher.
This is undoubtedly true. However, this may not be the whole story. Discrimination could also be a factor.
The information provided by your employer in their gender pay gap report is not in itself going to show whether you may have an equal pay claim.
To assess your situation, you need to gather data and consider your own individual circumstances critically. We can help you do that.
You could have an equal pay claim if you can identify a male colleague who is in the same role but paid more.
You would have to show that you were employed to do the same work. We can help you assess whether this is the case.
An equal pay claim can also arise by comparing two completely different jobs, an argument that they are of equal value.
Sometimes there are well-paid roles that are mainly undertaken by men
And other roles mainly undertaken by women that are of the same value but paid less.
Again, we can help you assess whether this is likely to be the case.
There may be other circumstances at work that have affected your pay, which could give rise to a sex discrimination claim.
For example, you may have been passed over for promotion, or perhaps male colleagues have been given better opportunities for career development.
Discrimination claims can arise related to bonuses. The bonus gap between men and women is often significantly higher than the gap in basic pay.
As we have seen often in banks, the process for awarding bonuses is not transparent and relies on subjective discretion.
These decisions are made by senior managers who are often men. It is quite possible that discrimination is a factor.
If the award of a higher bonus reflects the fact that a male colleague generated more business, it is still possible that there was discrimination.
For instance, it could be that the way work was allocated was discriminatory and enabled him to generate a higher bonus.
Proving a difference in treatment or a difference in pay can pose practical difficulties.
This is particularly the case in banks where remuneration packages are individually negotiated and there is little transparency.
Another difficulty is that some employees are told that they are legally bound to keep pay details confidential. This is an area where we can advise you.
We understand that the prospect of legal action against your employer is daunting, but taking action does not always need to involve bringing a claim.
We can discuss the range of options available with you and other ways to help you resolve any difficulties you face.
You may not want to do anything now, but just want to understand your position and take steps to protect you in case anything changes in the future.
We can help you do this.
Please do contact us if you feel we may